Hello and welcome to our presentation for the Premier Foods brand. Our group consists of me, Dan Gillard, George Eden, Cha Gu and David Hanley. The brief set out for us was to either extend or develop one of the brands owned by Premier Foods. In this case we have the brand Hovis, as you can see in the bottom right corner, so we're looking to develop this brand. The history of Hovis, it's very important to Hovis, their heritage and where they came from. They've been part of British heritage for 125 years, so you can see how old a brand they are. They have a strong image of tradition, hard work and Britishness, as you can see in some of their old packaging. And they've been selling the wrapped and sliced loaf from as early as 1931, so it is a big part of British history. The Boy on a Bike ad, as you can see in the picture, was first aired in early 1900s and it was re-aired in 2006, so you can see how important it is for Hovis to revisit how they came about. Existing developments and extensions which Hovis have already implemented. There are many different types of loaves that Hovis already market and sell. They have from healthy foods to great taste and even a specialist toasting range at the moment, which shows the varying markets they're looking into. The extensions which they have implemented before, there's only been one that we can find. That was when they developed a baking ingredients range. So they had flour branded as Hovis, which we think was a very good idea, as flour and bread are very interlinked. So it's only a slight extension, but an extension nonetheless.
Based on previous adverts and our market research, we believe that the target market of Hovis is older people, families, and in particular people with limited time, as the sliced and packaged loaf is quick and convenient. Direct competitors. The direct competitors consist mainly of two other industrial bakers, which are Warburton's and Kingsville, as well as in-store bakeries and independent bakers. Market overview. The white sliced loaf has dominated the market for years. However, between 2003 and 2006, the white bread consumption dropped by 24% and has continued to decrease. Conversely, the brown and wholemeal breads have risen by 34.4%, and along with positive increase in other types of bread as well. Proposed development. We believe it's important to develop the brand instead of extension. This is because Hovis is such a big name in the bread market, it seems silly to take it away from that line. However, with the increase in multiculturalism in the United Kingdom, we would like to embrace this in our marketing and our branding.
For the levels of the product, here's a diagram showing the levels. At the very centre is the core benefit of the product. This is for sustenance and enjoyment, as it's bread. It's used for energy and it's used for people having a good time eating. The actual product is bread, pure and simple. Additional factors that could be added to the bread are we could give a satisfaction guarantee. So if someone's not happy with the bread, they can get their money back, which I'm sure they wouldn't. And future uses, as bread goes off pretty quickly, it was hard to figure out a future use of the product. So we thought future uses for the company, for the product, could be we could penetrate new markets. So via this spiced Indian loaf, we could possibly in future release a range of curries based on the Indian theme. And it gives us a better brand image, so it seems like less of a just British thing. Here are a couple of pie charts showing the population breakdown of the UK. The purple section is the white percentage of the UK, and the green section is people from other ethnic groups. This pie chart further separates this green section, and the biggest part of this is 2.6%, which is made up of Indian people, the largest one. So yeah, the population has changed massively in the UK over the past 25 to 50 years. Over the next 25 years as well, there's going to be a 4.2 predicted population increase, which is 43% of the total population increase, which is purely down to migration. Further than this, there is a 1.6 million increase as a result of that migration, so birth rates coming from those people. The non-UK born population has quadrupled between 1951 and 2011 and become more diverse. So these people are coming from more different countries than they used to. However, these stats are just to show the increasing change in the UK market, backing up our promotional campaign. So it's not going to be our target market. Our target market will actually be young people from any ethnic background and will be segmented based on behaviour rather than race.
We're aiming to develop our brand and take our brand image from being perceived as old and potentially outdated and transform it into being seen fit for a more multicultural and modern Britain. We'd like the product to be viewed as new and interesting and are aiming to encourage people who don't necessarily buy our current products to try the brand. We feel the product is new, exciting and culturally diverse. It is aimed at a younger market who have enough money to be buying a premium product but were brought up in a more culturally diverse and modern Britain, as well as being interested in this kind of product. Our aim for the packaging of the product is that it indicates a new style, however still stands by our brand image. The packaging of the product holds the Indian flag, as it is a country by which it is inspired. The flag does not cover all of the loaf, however, because a large part of the packaging is clear so that the customer can see the product, and that also fits in with our current brand image. Brand revitalisation. In early 2008, Premier Foods appointed a new marketing team for Hovis. This is because their marketing share was plummeting and there were worries of distribution being affected due to drastically decreasing popularity of the brand. Something needed to be done, and what they did was run a very large-scale campaign where they increased the quality, revitalised the packaging, and ran a very effective advertising campaign focusing on the quality and the history of the brand. This was very successful and increased their marketing share 14% year on year. However, we feel that they need a little spice in their life, and to expand the brand from just focusing on the rural British image that they have built, and a slightly more multicultural approach would be beneficial in a more modern and multicultural Britain. Inspired by India. Our bread is inspired by Indian culture. It is still a sliced loaf which fits in with our brand image, which is important to us as we are a well-liked and trusted brand. However, what distinguishes this loaf from our other loaves is the fact that it's inspired by Indian bread, methi tepla. This is because it's a very popular Indian bread. It is liked for its strong and full flavours, which we are hoping to emulate in our sliced loaf. The way we will do this is by adding the herbs and spices to our sliced loaf that go into making this bread so popular in Indian culture.
We have applied STP, that is segmentation, targeting and positioning, as the fundamental part of our marketing strategy. Firstly, for segmentation, one demographic variable, age, is used to analyze our target market. As seen from this chart, age group under 15 has little control over their food choices. Age group 25 to 35 has little leisure time, and the age groups 35 to 40, 40 to 50, over 50 are more fond of Britishness, tradition, and family, and more rigid to new things. However, the age group 16 to 25 is more open to multicultural values, interested in fancy and novel things, and willing to share and communicate. More importantly, this group hasn't established a strong brand loyalty yet. Therefore, we think the group with the most profitable potential is 16 to 25. To target our marketing segment, we have conducted a more detailed analysis of this subgroup. The crucial features of younger British generation are: they spend a little time to cook by themselves, as most of them have tight schedule on studies. They have a great amount of interest in energy-consuming sports. They are open to new values, especially fancy and novel ones. And they are strongly involved in social media, where they share and communicate with peers. Therefore, we have identify the three fundamental needs of these target groups: convenience, nutrition, and energy in food. Thirdly, for positioning, core values of the brand of 16 to 25 group are convenience, energy, and sharing. So our positioning system is having been witnessing history of the United Kingdom. The fancy brand of Hovis loves to fulfill your need for energy and convenience at the same time. To develop a promotional mix, we have applying the 4P strategy, that is product, to produce a new healthy and fit brand line which contains rich nutrition and is able to replenish energy in a short term. Price, to set the product price in reasonable range in the consideration set of the young. Place, supermarket and the online grocery website as the two major marketing places of our product. And promotion, to produce a new ad, especially addressing the interest and the needs of the young. Possible slogan can be as radical as drinking too much last night, be healthy today. To create topic in social media like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and to establish sponsorship of British sport team and billboards.
So to gauge how this brand development might fare in the market, we decided to explore some other Indian brands and food markets. At the top we've got Sharwood's. They lead the way in the curry market with 21 million curries eaten annually, which is a huge amount. Behind them lie Patak's, who, despite being second best in the market, still had a turnover of 66 million in the year 2007. This shows the vast size of the curry market, and it's the market we're looking to enter, so that's good. Another aspect of the market we looked at was the restaurant sector, which is huge in the UK. There are 10,000 Indian restaurants alone in Britain, and amazingly, there are more Indian restaurants in London than there are in Mumbai. The main marketing channel we're looking at to promote this to a younger market is social media. It's going to create a positive spearhead for this, so it's taking our company into the new world. We have to be very careful, especially on Twitter, to avoid a negative backlash though. This occurred when McDonald's tried to make a McDonald's Stories hashtag, and people ended up writing all the bad things they've experienced in McDonald's. So this is a possible negative thing that we have to look for. However, this could be used in a positive way because it shows how much viral things can expand on a social media site. A couple of stats here: 98% of 18 to 24-year-olds use social media. That's a huge amount. So this shows that the target market we're looking at all pretty much use social media. So it's great for us. 700 billion minutes are spent on Facebook every month. That's not from one person, don't worry. It's a total figure. And 22% of teens log onto Facebook over 10 times a day, which is a bit sad really, but it's good for us. Furthermore, a bit about every site we're looking into using. YouTube is currently used by Hovis for adverts, so you can rewatch them, which we are looking forward eagerly to use in the future for our adverts, which we use for this marketing campaign. Facebook is an easy way to see how popular your brand is. If it's got more likes, it's more popular. So that's very good for us to get feedback. And further feedback we can get are from consumers. They can write straight to us in a comment and say, this is what we liked and this is what we didn't like. However, things that customers say they didn't like should not be bandied about a lot on the Facebook page. When I checked the Facebook page the other day, the top 5 comments were, negative comments. So the positive comments should be filtered through and made sure that people can see these. And on Twitter, it's great to keep up with trends, but it is the best example of how social media changes on a day-to-day basis. It has to be active all the time in order to keep up with this. So it has to be used every day rather than every other day or every few days like the current Hovis Twitter account. And we can use hashtags to create trends. If we have a hashtag that's positively received by the public, we can get that viral and we can get people talking about what they like about the brand and how important it is to them and their families if they have them. So as a summary, we have to be careful not to lose the strong brand identity of Hovis. It's been around since before the vast majority of people in the UK were born, so it's important to keep this in mind while taking the brand forward into a new era. However, as ingrained into British society as Hovis is, it is important to keep an eye on what Britain is truly like today. This brand development is what the market indicates people want from their food, so this is what we want to give them. And to keep the brand modern, the target market has been changed to a younger audience, which we plan to exploit using a mixture of popular culture involving sports teams and popular music, and a social media-centric campaign, creating viral adverts and better use of the current Twitter and Facebook accounts for Hovis. We think that this marketing campaign is the best thing since sliced bread, and we hope that you do too. And here are our references.